Hello, welcome to my P4 model railway, Drighlington and Adwalton. I'm Steve Hall and I'd like to take you back 60 years to a day in the life of my local station. We'll see a selection of trains that were commonplace there back in the early 1960s. It's early morning as J50 tank 68965 arrives at Adwalton Junction light engine from its own depot of Ardsley. After crossing over, 68965 takes the up branch, makes its way to Batley where it will take up the yard pilot duties for the morning. There were two signal boxes at Drighlington. Drighlington station box controlled access to the goods yards on both the upside and the downside, while Adwalton Junction signal box controlled the double junction, the level crossing and this crossover here, which we have just seen in use. For many years, the ex-Great Northern N1 tanks operated the local trains between Wakefield and Bradford, but by 1960 these had been replaced by diesel multiple units. Here we see a two-car Metro Camel unit on an early morning Wakefield to Bradford working. Meanwhile, off-duty signalman Cyril Briggs spends his rest day tending his allotment. Cyril's house was formerly a public house known as the Barleycorn. Following the DMU, we see Lowmore Black 5 45208 once again returning light engine from Wakefield Westcott back to Bradford Exchange to pick up its next working. There was a heavy flow of coal traffic with loaded wagons going towards Bradford and empties returning to Ardsley, as seen here with 64919 on a string of empties from Lasterdyke, while heading the other way will be WD 90310 on a loaded coal train from Ardsley. The storage yards on the back wall are split into 4 distinct groups. We have 7 sidings here which represent Bradford Exchange passenger station, 7 sidings here to represent Wakefield Westgate passenger station. We've got 4 sidings here to represent Batley, which is for the branch line trains which reverse there, and then we've got some sidings here for the freight trains which represent Ardsley or Lasterdyke yards, depending which way the train's going. Trains are operated on an end-to-end basis, so passenger train would start from Wakefield Westgate, for example. It would come around the layout through Drighlington and terminate in the Bradford sidings. The loco would then be turned, and later in the day the same stock would work a return trip from Bradford all the way around the layout and finish back up at Wakefield again. Here we have the Bradford Exchange sidings with a collection of diesel multiple units and Lowmore Black 5 number 45208 ready to depart on the 705 Bradford to King's Cross, the West Riding. .45208 will pass through the freight yards at Ardsley. On arrival in the Wakefield Westgate sidings, the 3 Bradford coaches will be attached to the Leeds portion and then taken forward to King's Cross by a Pacific loco which has worked the main train starting from Leeds. Drighlington was on the fringe of an area known as the Rhubarb Triangle. Here we catch a glimpse of a forcing shed, long low buildings where rhubarb was force grown in the dark. Rhubarb was dispatched by rail, as we will see later. .64203 arrives on P60 trip from Quarry Gap. .64203 shunts its wagons into the up refuge siding. 64203 deposits 3 goods wagons by the goods shed and then takes 3 empty minerals forward to go to Howden Clough Colliery. .64203 pauses briefly while the guard pins down some wagon brakes ready for the descent down the 1 in 42 to Howden Clough. train descends cautiously down the steep incline to Howdenclough Colliery. "64203 arrives in the sidings with the empty mineral wagons. She then departs with some loaded wagons. Back at Drighlington, the 3 wagons are left in the sidings. "64203 crosses over to the down sidings now to collect the rest of its train. Notice how mining subsidence has caused the embankment and retaining wall to collapse. "64203 collects 2 vans with rhubarb traffic from the goods shed. "64203 now departs with the pickup goods onto its next stop at Gilderson. A favourite vantage point for train watching was the Iron Bridge, and this forms a scenic break at the east end of the layout. The 9 o'clock Ardsley to Leicesterdike pickup goods arrives at Drighlington behind J50 68935. 68935 collects the 3 coal wagons from Howden Clough Colliery and adds them to the pickup goods train. (68935) departs to Lacerdyke with P60 trip working. The rear 2 wagons are conveying a load of narrow gauge tippler wagons, which are the products of Robert Hudson's foundry at Gildersham. Once train out of section is received from Birkenshaw, Drighlington signal box will close, and following a complicated exchange of bell codes, the signalman will clear all his signals for the up and the down mainline trains, and then the block section will extend from Adwalton Junction through to Birkenshaw. Adwalton Junction signal box remained open continuously. Here we see Lowmore Black 5 45208 once again on the 1105 Bradford to King's Cross. The White Rose was the other named train to pass through Drighlington and is seen here hauled by my all-time favourite loco, 61189 Sir William Gray. I scratch built this loco some 40 years ago in double O gauge, but it now has a replacement P4 chassis. Things didn't always go to plan, of course. The early Derby lightweight DMUs were rather problematical, and Batley pilot 68965 has been summoned to give rear assistance to this ailing unit on the 1155 Goole to Bradford, which has come to grief on the 1 in 42 climb up from Batley. An interested observer on the footbridge makes some notes as the driver manages to restart the DMU's engines. The DMU is now able to continue to Bradford under its own power. and the J50 returns to pilot duties at Batley. The White Rose heads back south behind Lowmore Fairburn 42116. A tail van containing fish traffic was sometimes attached to a through DMU working from Hull to Bradford. Freight traffic was especially busy in the evenings. Lowmore Jubilee Victoria was a frequent visitor on the through Keighley to Renthorpe with unfitted freight. That last train was a Cleethorpes to Laisterdyke return excursion hauled by a Sutton Loco Works Sulzer Type 2. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. That's cheerio from me, Steve Hall. Goodbye.